Hi, my name is Darwin Anderson. I'm the president of International Messengers. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your willingness to go and be a part of the lives and ministries of our missionaries. They'll be greatly encouraged by your willingness to come and to work by faith alongside of them. Each year, our staff asks us for a multitude of teams to serve their visions and passions to build and strengthen the local church. It is our heart that your experience in going and serving will change your life and make you more productive as a follower of Jesus Christ upon your return.
You get into a situation where you have to trust in God to be able to bring you through that day to get different things done. And that just really helps your faith grow, and it really challenges you to find out how real is my faith. So if I don't test it and if I don't try anything, then sometimes it's hard to tell. Am I just dealing with it on my own, or am I letting God really intervene in my life?
I saw God come through in ways that were just phenomenal. I gave him my best effort, saw through it that God had indeed blessed the work and caused me to grow tremendously.
We are unique in the way we finance the support and care of our career missionaries. The amount you've been asked to raise will help to decrease the overhead of our career staff and will ensure follow-up of the ministries you're going to be involved in. We are concerned about being accountable to you for what we charge. So every year in the fall, we go through these categories and we compare what we've charged you with what is actually spent by the teams. The price that we have charged you is an average across all countries. We don't want to penalize the missionaries working in countries with high inflation. And so we average the costs of all ministries across all countries so that if you're going to work in a high inflation country, your cost will be the same as someone working in a country that happens to be in a year of normal inflation. We work from a donated building and drive a donated fleet of vehicles.
One of the hardest things for me, being an independent kind of guy, was asking other people to help me fund this ministry. And I think I learned that part of being in missions work is being humble enough to ask other people to help you fund the ministry aspects of this. And that was hard for me, and yet I got great satisfaction out of knowing that when I went to the Czech Republic, I took with me the 60 people who helped pay my way, and by keeping them involved. So
here is a breakdown of the possible categories included in the amount you've been asked to raise. Overhead, $310 to $385. This is a subsidy of lacking support for home office staff, receipting costs, postage, internet, utilities, photocopier costs, recruitment, yearly audit, membership in ECFA, car and building insurance, support of understaffed camps, prayer letters for nationals on staff, home office overhead for nationals on staff, translation projects. Staff care, $90. This goes towards semi-annual conferences for staff and their families for their encouragement, spiritual feeding and support, travel expenses for staff care personnel to visit emergency situations, emergency travel for staff for family issues, emergency counseling for hurting marriages. Leadership airfare is $60. This is transportation for U.S. staff needed to serve as team leaders and for their costs in visiting staff homes for support and encouragement. Training, $75. This goes towards training materials, lodging, food at your training, and for travel expenses of your trainer. Ministry materials, $75 to $200. These are supplies you will need for your short-term ministry effectiveness. National support, $180. This is to subsidize the support of IM nationals working in their home countries. This is in addition to what they are able to raise. Currently, over 40% of IM staff members are nationals. International Messengers has always utilized nationals to work in their own countries. They have kept us from doing a lot of stupid things in our history as an organization. Part of your cost of going, this $180, will go to subsidize what they can't raise of their support needs. In-country costs. This would include your in-camp costs, in-ministry costs, out-of-camp lodging and food costs, transportation costs before, during, and after ministry, subsidy of students coming to your ministry. And trip insurance.
When I graduated from seminary back in the late 70s, I thought that God was leading me into overseas missions, and it just wasn't the right time for our family. So it took me 21 years before He called me overseas for a short-term mission. And I went with International Messengers, fell in love with Hungarian people, and God really sunk His hook deep into me, and it just keeps reeling me back in.
One of the people wanted to know what a sinner was. What is heaven? What is a pagan? Different terminology that we just take for granted on a daily basis. And the interesting part was I didn't have to answer that. There was other people in the room that actually shared the answers to what those words meant. And a lot of the people that shared those answers were not believers. And so it was just a really cool picture of watching non-believers share with non-believers the importance and the essence of the gospel.
These are areas covered in your training weekend. Cultural adaptation, how to come home effectively, spiritual warfare, working and walking by faith, kingdom definitions, preparing your marriage for this trip, evangelism, leading small group Bible study, packing, English camp methodology and materials, practicum of English teaching if this is your ministry, being an effective team member, opposite sex relationships in ministry, modesty, Bible study on Matthew 10 and Luke 10, prayer, encouraging career missionaries.
I'm sitting here as I'm thinking about going back. I'm thinking about a man named Piotr. And Piotr he's a professor of German who teaches in the University at Warsaw. And Piotr would always save the loaded question until the end of the class session. And as I'm in my mind, as I'm thinking of the picture that we have of Piotr, he's in the picture and he's kind of somewhat like this. And the question he always asked was, how can I really know that this is true? Basically, what I was just felt led to share with Piotr was the fact that all I know is how God changed my life. Throughout the year, I've had the image of Piotr's looking at me. I've had that question haunting me. And there are many other Piotrs out there. And that's one of the reasons that we really want to go back.
So again, thank you for your willingness to go. May the Lord bless you as you participate in these ministries with our staff. They'll be greatly encouraged by your coming. Thank you so very much.